know what I mean? I had to get this busy woman right here, you know what I mean, while I could. So Miss Ryder, what's going on? How you doing today? Oh, we're not gonna start this frozen shit. Hold
of
up,
that
time out.
classroom,
You was doing what?
severing through the pieces of my classroom
Oh,
because
okay, okay.
I ain't been at this location in a couple years, but apparently I was the last person to use the classroom, so they've been using it as storage. So I had to clear all of the boxes and all of the chairs and all of the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Boring stuff, teacher stuff. How
Oh,
about
that's
you?
right.
How was your day?
My day's still going. I just did a site visit to where we're gonna be doing a podcast party on Sunday. So we were just testing out all the equipment, the microphones, the speakers,
Yeah.
just our DJ and everything. So we just got back from that. I wasn't even supposed to be out there that long, but when it comes to setting stuff up, that could take a lot of time. So
You get lost in translation. You get lost.
yeah. Oh, look at that! Look, we got the notification that we live. That's so dope.
That's lit. That's lit.
Facts, facts. So I know we spoke a little bit earlier. I know it was a couple of topics that we kind of threw in the air, and I guess the one that we caught on was toxic traits amongst men and women. So I want to know. I want you to kick that off the right way. I mean, because there's so many different toxic traits, and I think you could it'd be better if you spent it off because you probably got a different level of experience when it comes to it versus me.
Okay. I don't know if I'm complimented or what, but I'm gonna take it as a compliment because I've been on both sides of this toxicity. When I talk about toxic traits of men and women, I'm talking about
Uh-huh.
things that interrupt camaraderie. Because as we understand, this world is built of all different types of people, colors, creeds, build sizes, you name it.
Right.
However, most of us grew up with like a monogamous background or whatever. So we
Right.
tend to date the opposite sex. And I'm not speaking for
Okay.
everybody because to each its own, and the world is very free. So do what you want, do what makes you happy. That's most of all. However, when I'm speaking from men and women, when they get together, they harbor or hold on to or have old agreements or ways that they were brought up, which cause them to do things that turn into toxicity, whether they wanted to or not, because we all know that nobody wants to just be a bad person. Nobody wants to just make messed up decisions, right?
Okay.
So, to give an example, when a man and a
Excuse me.
woman have a disagreement, bless you, when a man and a
Thank you.
woman have a disagreement, sometimes in most cases or in some cases women are emotionally more mature, however they are not more logical, so that causes a level of toxicity because two people aren't willing to meet each other in the middle or meet each other where they are or try to communicate so the receiver understands. Everybody for
Okay.
the most part that I have experienced, they communicate from a very selfish standpoint. So I'm diving back into it. So, for example, if a man and a woman get into an argument and a man completely shuts down and he doesn't want to deal with the situation because it's too overwhelming for him, that's toxic in a way because communication is universal. We communicate with animals, we communicate with babies, we communicate with other life forms. So when we have a difference in communication, we should be able to come down off of our ego, our pride, and things like that, and be able to communicate out of love and understanding. So that's what I, mean by things can get a little toxic. And just so no one thinks that I'm men bashing, to give a woman toxic trait. Because women are so meticulous and we tend to put things together, or we're very motherly or nurturing. We tend to be a little bit
Okay.
controlling in a sense. We tend to get out of control with that. It's like, oh, you do what I say because I said it and this, that, and the third. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're still talking to a man. It's a certain way that we're supposed to communicate with one another in order to be respectful as well as get our understanding
Right. I got you. Now, are we speaking in terms of like a relationship amongst the man and the woman? Is that what you're
So
talking about in that
everything is a
realm?
ship. Everything is a ship. Like a friendship, a partnership, a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, a relationship between a mother and a father. So all in all, I'm talking about the difference between man and woman, but I wasn't specifically talking about the relationship portion of them being together intimately. I was just talking about communication, period. It just happened to be like my example was a little domesticated. However, if you take a business environment, men
Hmm.
sometimes communicate with arrogance and egos in the business environment versus rationalization or empathy in a sense. And then women tend to sometimes, this is not everybody, everything I say is circumstantial, but sometimes women tend to maneuver from an emotional standpoint in the workplace where it's inappropriate. So that's
Okay.
toxic. You get what I'm saying? So it's different toxicity, but I just wanted to narrow it down to something more common, like a relationship, because most of us have one, whether it be with our child, our partner, our God, or whatever. We have a relationship.
Got you. You think maybe like that could be something that in the beginning of the relationship could be like laid out in terms of like, hey, communication obviously is a big thing, and it's gonna be the lifeblood of this relationship or just this partnership, right? So you think that that would make a difference if people were a little bit more transparent in the beginning? Because we know in the beginning everything is all good. It's the beginning. So do you think that that should be something that's kind of like laid out in the beginning, or it's expected to just automatically think that you guys are supposed to communicate as much as you possibly can throughout the duration of however long you're together?
Any expectation you have is the start of a failure. So never do I advise anybody to expect anything from anyone. However, I
Hmm.
I want people to communicate as effectively and as transparently as they can. However, not everybody has the tools. And not everybody is going to be able to meet you where you are. That's why I say everything is circumstantial. Because in my recent time of building new relationships, I've come across a couple very successful ones, but they happen through some hard work, through some trial and error, through transparency that we didn't even know that we had to disseminate to one another until the time popped up. So, because you don't know what you don't know. So, you just got to be the best you can be and, do things the best you can, but always.
Okay, okay. Nah, I completely get that. The only reason why, so my whole thing is like we all know that communication is one of those things that it could either make or break whatever situation you have going on, right? But then again, some people have different levels of communication. So I
Yeah, it's
know
all about what
you
you're willing to work with.
right. So you recently just stated that that could be, I guess, a lack of communication could be a toxic trait, right? Or am I don't want to paraphrase what you said, but it's somewhat along those lines. So
I
how do
mean,
you?
go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, how do you feel you could get over that issue? Because that is an issue, right? That would be considered an issue. So how do you like address it better yet?
Okay,
Because
so
yeah,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
no, that's it. I was gonna say, how do you address that?
How do you address lack of communication?
I mean, because it's a toxic trait. So if it's a toxic trait, I mean, the best way is to approach it and let it be known. But I mean, if it's an issue with communication and it's like, all right, we already hit one roadblock. So that's something that you would want to address. But how do you approach it? How would you approach it? Like if you had to go through it.
So I always start out by saying everything is circumstantial because it goes based upon that person and the situation that they're in. I say that for some people who may just
Right,
follow directions that they see. I want them to understand that this is circumstantial. But anyway,
right.
having too much communication is also a toxic trait. You get what I'm saying? So you have to find a healthy medium that
Can
works
you
for both
please
parties.
can you please explain that? Because my niece, she said too much communication. So I'm like, what does that look like? What does too much communication look like?
Okay, so this is an example. We using the person who's not the big communicator versus the person who's the too much of a communicator. So
Okay.
the person may be shutting down or not being responsive or not explaining things or not, volunteering information. This
Okay.
person may be hounding them down, beating them down, communicating as to why they should communicate, communicating as to what should be communicated, communicating as to why they're communicating. And it's like, oh, that. It's like when you dealing with
Right.
anybody, man, woman, anybody, they need time to process. And I didn't always understand that because I'm high energy and I think fast sometimes. Sometimes I think too fast where I'm messing up and making mistakes. So
Right.
I had to learn to stop pushing people past their limits because I still wasn't going to get what I was asking for. So if I'm asking for communication, my best way to do so is to verbally say so first, right? And that is to say, hey, I noticed that you're a bit quiet and I really need some feedback in these areas. However, somebody might not respond to that. So now we move forward. I show this person what effective communication could be. For example, if they did something that upset me, I would never be like, you did this, you did that, you did this. I would say
Right.
that the way that this situation happened, I felt this way. So I'm going to try to change this about what I did to try to change my outcome. What are you willing to change? So you got to be willing to back up off of people, hit the gas when it's time. You just gotta know it, like it's a feeling. We can't
Right.
we can't measure energy, we can't pick it up, we can't put it down, but we can feel it. So it's like when you feel that you're pushing too hard, then you are back off. When you feel like you're not
Right.
doing enough, then you aren't. Do more. You get what I'm saying?
Right. 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 Me, I'm just gonna leave you fuck alone. I'm like, yo, don't call me, don't talk to me. Fuck that shit. I
I
don't care.
understand. I understand. I
I,
understand.
I'm playing. I'm joking. I'm
Well,
not
but
that
it's
brash like that. No, I
No,
don't
but
do that. I mean,
it's nothing wrong with, but no, I'm not saying that you do or don't, but just to touch on that, that's a segue. It's nothing wrong with the person laying down their boundaries and saying, hey, I don't really want to deal with this. So I'm gonna move on because this is how you deal with things and I choose not to stay around. Or you could say, hey, I
right.
really like this person. This outweighs this, so let me try to work with them on this. That just made me think of that.
Everybody got their limits though.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a certain threshold that you're gonna like get to before you decide to call things quits. In my opinion, I
right,
mean, at least that's like but communication is probably just only. I mean, that's the foundation of anything.
yeah.
So,
Effective
but there's
communication. Because we can communicate all day. But if I don't understand you, you ain't doing no good.
all right. So what are some other toxic traits that you came across that it was like a red flag for you? Weirdo vibes type shit. I know you came
Um,
across a lot of that.
of course I have. Come on now, in this industry, who knows what Jack in the Box is gonna come out? Let me think very quickly. I can think of a lot, but I want to say people who are explosive irrationally. Like,
Okay.
you ever seen somebody throw a temper tantrum and they're screaming and pulling their hair or smacking their self or like
Yeah, my son. I know.
tell my
I know.
man that he got stopped because that's toxic trait. No, I'm playing. But he's going through emotion and he doesn't know how to express himself. So that's why it's toxic for an adult to do it because you had a lot of time to work through some things and you can't really determine what somebody has or what they didn't have. However, you can only blame your environment and your past for so long before it becomes your fault and your responsibility to recognize. So your son, he has every right to do those things right now until you walk him and learn him out of it. But
I'm
these
just joking.
adults, oh, all right. Some kids do that.
Yeah,
I'm a
you.
teacher.
I don't. I don't play those games. You know
Overstood.
that. I
Overstood.
don't play those games.
Overstood. But yeah, no doubt. Mismanaging emotions, being very explosive, like not being able to take accountability, which turns into some kind of irrational response. Like, are you a psychopath? You was wrong. You about to fall out and cut yourself?
Probably thought that and probably Oh, let me see that. Wait, let me see that. Wow, yo, you lucky you didn't bring that over here. I would have snatched that shit.
Okay.
You would have went home without it.
Listen, my friend Antonio's wife,
Don't bring that,
she sells them. I'm gonna direct you to her page because I don't want to get it wrong, so I can't say it right now. But
please.
I'm gonna get you on there.
Yeah, let me. Yo, listen, I need one of those.
Those
Like,
joints be saving my life.
man,
They be saving my life for real.
why?
Because it's a canister, like the canisters keep things cold or hot all day.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So I done had
That's
that
like a
pipe all day.
thermal,
Yes, that's what I meant.
it's like a
Thermal,
thermal
not
joint.
canister. Thermal. Edit that part out.
I mean, technically, it is a form of a canister, but I mean, it's
Yeah,
just a
but you know
name.
what I meant.
But
You know
not,
what I meant.
yeah. But back to what you were saying, the toxicity traits. Now, um, you named communication or a lack thereof as a toxic trait. What are some other toxic traits that
Yeah, I
you
guess
had to
being
like?
explosive would be communication still. Um, Let me see. Some more toxic traits. Ooh, I want to say blaming others, accountability. Adults seem to like pass the buck. It's kind of like I don't want to say every adult, obviously, but in my journey through life, bro, like everybody does something, finagles their way through something, but like throw stones and living in glass houses and stuff like that. Like that's toxic. I
Okay,
don't like that.
okay. So just all right. So pretty much people bashing everybody else who's not a part of a circle and shit like that, or people who I want to say hypocrites, so to speak.
Yeah, like the tax.
You have to be a hypocrite.
Go ahead, because it's
Not
gonna
said
be
you would have to be considered a hypocrite. Nah, that's because you know what I'm saying. You riding around and getting it. That's why.
breaking. Yeah, but yeah, I say that. Sorry, concentrating. I say that with a
It's all
grain of
good.
salt because my thing is the toxicity comes in when you're unable to show camaraderie or you're unable to support or congratulate based on your opinion of their plight when you did some stuff that somebody probably wouldn't agree with either if we put you under a microscope. So it's like we need to learn to, in my opinion, push each other up versus like you said, be hypocrites or chastise or criticize versus be constructive.
Got you. So basically, let's just go back to the whole relationship thing. I give you a scenario. Fuck it. We just gonna do a whole scenario. You with a guy, you like him, everything seems to be going great. I don't want to say perfect because nothing is, and if it is, it's probably
Yeah.
something. But I, I don't even want to say how do you adjust that situation. How do you like navigate and maneuver through that because you already in a relationship, so you don't want to just I guess conclude like nope, I can't fuck with it, I'm out. But you want to still trying to work on it. How would you approach that situation?
Don't be mad at me, but the phone was breaking up a little bit. But I'm here.
No, what I was saying was if you was in a relationship and in the beginning everything was all good, and then later on down the line you started seeing certain traits from your partner that you really didn't like, how would you handle that basically?
I would take a look at myself first of all, because those traits were there from the beginning. They didn't just pop up out of nowhere. That person didn't just start acting like a leopard and they was a lion. Like it doesn't work like that. I would take a look at
All right.
myself to figure out how we got here and what I did to accept those types of things. Um,
So it's your fault then basically.
So my thing is nothing happens by chance. It's made to happen. You either did something or didn't do something to put yourself in that circumstance. Not saying it's a good or a bad thing. However, it is what it is. It's the domino effect. If I don't push this domino over, none of the other ones fall. If I don't blow on this, nothing else happens over here. You get what I'm saying? Like it's the butterfly effect.
Got you. Got you. So would you number one, all right, so you're gonna just say, hey, what the fuck did I do? Let me figure this thing out. And then once you come to your conclusion, A, it's not me, then what?
You got okay, so
Then what?
I don't know if this answer sounds commercial, but you gotta leave people where they are. Like some people gonna get on the ship and some people gonna get off. And my thing is not to ever
But y'all
allow.
put time in. Y'all put time in together. So you just gonna say, fuck you, I'm out. I'm not dealing with it.
So here's the thing. Okay, realistically, I'm going to try maybe once or twice because I'm not going
Damn,
to.
that's it. Once or twice. Damn.
Well, because after the third time, it's like now it's either what did Bill Clinton say? It's on you fool me once, now you can't get fooled again. That shame. That ain't even. That's not even a saying. But you know what I'm trying to say is,
I heard the song, yes. It was J.
yeah,
Cole. I heard
like
the song. That was George Bush, but yeah,
yeah,
I
whatever.
got you.
But the thing is, I'm gonna talk
One of
to you
them
about what
presidents, right?
bothered that part. I'm gonna talk to you about what bothered me. We're gonna try to come up with a solution. And if you're not willing to work with me and it's not honest and I don't feel sincere about it, I gotta move on. Nobody on this earth should hold you to a point where as though you compromise your goals, morals, integrity, or yourself. Because my thing is you attach yourself to your dreams and goals because people gonna disappoint you. Things gonna disappear. Somebody's gonna die. Something's gonna happen.
Damn,
So
wait,
uh,
Hold on. We not killing nobody here. What you
no, I just
doing?
meant of natural causes.
I know I'm fucking with you.
Causes. No, I understand, I
No,
understand,
no,
I
I'm,
understand.
I'm only fucking with you, but I'm just the reason why I'm asking that just to get to the root of it is because, like you said, everything is circumstantial and everybody's different. Sometimes we all need help in different areas, so it's like, okay, cool. Maybe it would make more sense that you try from a different angle, right? So what that may look like is you saying, all right, before I pack up my bags and go, I just want to just be as straightforward as possible. How that may look to you may be different from how that looks to someone else. That could just be by you giving the person a little bit of space to kind of like absorb what was being told to them. Because sometimes people don't, in the heat of things, they're not listening.
I,
It's not registering.
I'm gonna say I completely agree because my current partner taught me that in the most valuable light I had ever seen somebody do it in, and I'm like, I gotta stop prejudging stuff. I gotta stop thinking I know everything because
Right.
when you ask for something, you probably gonna get it if you go work to get it, but it might not be how you thought you was gonna get it, right?
I know that's because you're not asking for it specifically, but it's all
Ex-
good.
that too, but you have to take what you get when you get it and use it how it's best for you if it's applicable. Because
Knew the shit was gonna fall, but go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like when something happens, I need a solution. I need it to be done. I need it to be fixed right then and there. My partner is not like that. He's a little bit slower. He's going to catch on a little bit slower and he's going to process and take his time. I get it. I
Right,
get it. So
right, right,
I
right,
had to
right, right.
learn to, because I care about this person, I had to learn to slow myself down in what I was expecting and what I wanted and look at what is being produced. He's doing
Okay.
this, he's doing that, he's doing this. So why would I rush this process if logically it looks like this? But sometimes
Hmm.
people need help. Sometimes you need counsel. Sometimes you need therapy. Sometimes you need help with your friends. Everything's not going to work out the first time always. Sometimes maybe it will. But you put in hard work.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Oh, well, go on, bro. Make your point.
No, no, no. I was just saying, like, it's like you know when you're gonna call it quits. To be honest with you, and that all depends on how much you've taken in and how much that other person is worth your time. And it's
I
point blank
agree.
serious. I mean, point blank period is just there's
I knew what you
really
meant. I knew
no
what you meant.
yeah. So as far as toxic is concerned, there's only but so much toxicity you could display before I'm gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna chuck the deuces on you. I gotta be out. But I'll come back for you. I'm
I
saying just
come
not
back
right
for
now.
you.
I come back for you. Trust me. I ain't gonna leave you like I don't like to end things off in a bad note. On a bad note, like
Well,
because
can't make everybody happy.
no, I'm not gonna. Well, clearly, I wasn't happy if I had to leave. But I'll say
Yeah.
this though, yeah, I'll be like, yo, listen, we could just be cool. We could end this amicably and move forward. But toxicity has many different faces. But ultimately, you already know when you don't want to be in a situation. You already know. You can feel the vibes. Like it's not even
You
something
feel it
that's
from the start.
questionable.
You feel it from the start.
Well, and if
I'm
you
not
don't
saying
feel it for
immediately when you meet them, but you feel it from the start.
right. But if you don't, you start to get introduced to those little small traits that would actually trigger you to feel some kind of way. It's kind of like, but not everything. I don't expect everything to be like all sunshine and rainbows. I mean, everybody's
Right.
gonna go through their little rifts.
Oh,
It's the ebbs
absolutely.
and flows. So, are you? The question is, are you ready for that? Because not everybody's ready for that type of deal. Some people just need to
I
be by
am
themselves.
now. It, it
Who
it
you?
has it has taken me a long time, but I am now, and it took a lot of practice. It took a lot of mistakes. It took a lot of patience that I didn't even think I had. But the universe and God don't play with you. Like if you need to sit down and you need to wait, you're gonna sit down and you're gonna wait. So yeah, I think once we remove ourselves from the earthly plane and the earthly things that we used to, and we just look at humanity and we break down, what makes sense and what's fair in our opinion, because everybody's opinion is different. So again, circumstantial, but that's what makes the world go around. But all in all, like you just got to be willing to work with people and each other and yourself because you got to do that internal work before you even start trying to find somebody because it's not going to work. Nobody's going to be there to put you together. That's what you pay a therapist for. You talk to your parents or you spend time with God. And sometimes you get luck of the draw and you find a good partner because partners are supposed to uplift you. But all in all, you can't go broken Dolly Parton, Dolly broken little porcelain doll looking for a nice figurine. Like it doesn't work that way. I have no idea if these metaphors are working, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yo, listen. Once I put this shit up on, once I post this up, listen, we just let it fly. I got like 4 other lives to do after this one. Like, but I definitely was like,
I
yo,
got an
nah, we.
audition.
What time you audition?
I gotta get it done. I got like 24 to 48 more hours to do it, but you don't want to do it at the last minute. I had seen my uncle Doug. Hey Gucci,
We definitely gotta
your
we
camera
gotta
went
get
black.
together. That's because somebody's calling me.
Hey Uncle
But
Chuck. Hey Daddy. And Gucci, I know you heard me. Let me see.
this shit's not working.
No, your thing black.
Come on, man. See this? I'm gonna have to start putting this shit on
There
like
you is. Hey, how is you? I'm gonna come out there and say
say,
hi. Oh, come here. Can't you come? How is you?
yo, why
Can
is
you
my
see him?
screen? Nah, hold on. Why is my?
Um,
Come on now. Damn, why is this doing this to me? Hold up.
it's
Let
at
me
the
see
end
something.
too. Hi yo, Gucci. How is you?
What the?
Uh-oh.
Why is this doing this? Come on, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Did it pop back up? No, it didn't because I'm
No,
looking
it
on the
didn't.
other phone. Ah, all right. So I think I'm gonna have to end the stream, but it's all good because this ain't gonna be the last one.
No, it's not. Because this was dope.
Oh my
You're super
god.
dope coming up with the questions. I'm not even gonna finish it out. Maybe we could just record you say your closing statement.
No. It's all good. We gonna do a part 2 to this. That's what we're
All right,
gonna do. We
cool.
we're gonna do a part 2 since I'm blacked out. I just went into the universe. It's all good.
All right. Well, it was so good being on here with you and y'all. Thanks for watching and listening. We're here
Hell
to
yeah.
talk about, to help you with stuff and help us help you, help us.
Yeah, we're gonna like the next one's gonna be crazy though. The next topic I'm gonna have is gonna be a little bit crazier. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go in. But until my face could pop back up, I appreciate you
This
though.
is funny. All right.
All right.